if you think that this has been embarrassing for Kevin McCarthy, I think that you're right. It's also been embarrassing for Donald Trump, who called up the defectors and tried to get them to support Kevin McCarthy, and they declined to do so. Now that looks bad for him, that he didn't move a single one of them to support the guy he endorsed, but he wants you to understand that this is actually a good thing. He bleated, "I actually think that a big Republican victory today, after going through numerous roll calls that failed to produce a Speaker of the House, has made the position and process of getting to be Speaker bigger and more important than if it were done in the more traditional way. Much like me again becoming president after having won big in 2016, gotten many millions of more votes in 2020, but supposedly not winning, big lie, and then winning again in 2024. It will be bigger than the traditional way." So I hadn't thought of it that way. That like, honestly, being like Nancy Pelosi and winning on the first vote, that's weak. You wanna lose and lose and lose, then win. And that's a show of strength. Barron, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But of course, Trump had his feelings hurt. He calls all these people, he puts it out on Truth Social. You gotta support McCarthy. He's the guy. And I think he could end up doing good, maybe even great, he said yesterday. Well, and then the first vote happened yesterday and McCarthy had lost another one. And he actually lost support from the day before. So Trump's endorsement, as it typically does, backfired spectacularly for the person he was endorsing. And when you have members of the Freedom Caucus, like Matt Gaetz came out yesterday and said that Trump's, it was sad. Okay, that's treading a thin line there, buddy. You don't wanna make Trump mad. Boebert called Trump out on the House floor in her speech.
Yep.
They're showing him that, listen, we've kind of understood something in the last 2 days, and it goes back to that whole thing. We actually have the power. What are you gonna do, Donald? Are you gonna get on Truth Social and say that, oh, we're bad now? We've already got the support. We are taking over. We're the rightful heirs. The way I described it, Trump himself was the Frankenstein's monster of the Republican Party, right? They created this thing. Suddenly they realized they can't control it. It's out there terrorizing the city. But then Frankenstein's monster created its own monster, and that is your Matt Gaetz, your Boeberts, everybody in the Freedom Caucus, basically. So now the monster's monster is out there running amok, and nobody knows how to control this either, but they're not afraid of the former master, is the big takeaway here. And it's horrible for Donald Trump. He can send out as many posts on Truth Social as he wants, saying that, oh, this is the plan all along. Because you definitely want to lose before you win, because then you look like a bigger winner. But we all know what he's trying to do. He's trying to console himself because his former proteges don't care what he has to say anymore. And that's the biggest hit to his ego he could get.
Yeah, they're just, the fear is draining away. Like Matt Gaetz, as you said, Lauren Boebert being like, you know what Donald should do? He should get on the phone and talk to McCarthy. You're telling him what to do? And every time they make a move like this, I just imagine a velociraptor like laying a claw on the electric fence and testing it. And eventually they don't get shocked. And that's when you have Jurassic Park. They're not scared of him anymore. I think that Donald Trump has done actually a better job than I would have expected of not freaking out over this, because there is no way that he doesn't understand what I'm saying and what you just described. That as bad as the midterms largely being blamed on him was, I mean, that's one thing to pick a candidate and have the candidates be rejected. That looks bad, but you can sort of say that that's on the candidate. When you're coming out and endorsing someone like Kevin McCarthy and a pack of people that say that they're MAGA, that you endorsed, that have always been closely affiliated with you, that not a single one of them would switch over is just highly embarrassing. And then to not have a single one of them, because right now he's down 21 votes. That's as much as he's ever been down. I think it's done. Not a single vote switched over after all of those concessions that we just talked about, which honestly, kind of a little bit messed up actually. Not one of you was being serious about the things that you said you wanted. Like, I don't like these people and I don't like the concessions, but I kind of feel like it should have earned a few, honestly, like speaking in defense of Kevin McCarthy. But anyway, the whole thing is just so embarrassing. I wanna just quickly play one last video and get your reaction. because it is possible that we could eke out a bit more embarrassment for Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk has an idea how we could make that happen.
Now, I did tweet this morning that I thought Donald Trump should personally fly up to Washington, D.C. and broker a deal, whether that's in favor of Kevin McCarthy, in favor of Byron Donalds. He did write the art of the deal. He was able to do Middle East peace with Israel and Saudi Arabia and the Emirates. He was able to renegotiate NAFTA. He knows how to strike a deal, and he still has a lot of political power. I don't think it's actually in his interest to do this in favor of Kevin remotely. If Kevin McCarthy ends up failing, one of the leads will be Donald Trump's endorsement does not mean that much anymore. So you can't get half pregnant here. This is my advice to President Trump. I think he should fire up Trump Force One, fly into Washington, D.C., come and act like the magnanimous leader that he is, and call a meeting.
Please fire up Trump Force One. Please go to DC and go walk down on the House floor. And I want to see Lauren Boebert spit in your face. No, like, God damn, Charlie Kirk is an idiot. First of all, no, he didn't write the art of the deal, you moron. Nobody actually thinks he wrote that. How could you possibly think that? And maybe this is sabotage. Because this is not looking good for Kevin McCarthy. It was already dangerous for Trump to weigh in at all. If he goes in person, he's gonna end up looking terrible. Why would Charlie Kirk give him that advice, Farron?
It's so weird, just the godlike worship that you hear in Charlie Kirk's voice when he's saying that, like, he did all of these things that I'm totally making up in my brain, but I genuinely believe he did them. And then saying, oh, well, he could Trump Force One and he could walk in there and get everybody in line. I don't know how you actually hit that level of either stupidity or just downright blindness to reality, but somehow Charlie Kirk is there. And I think he's somewhere in the middle between being blind to reality and just being painfully ignorant about things. But either way, Donald Trump is not the silver bullet here. He is not the great kingmaker that he and Charlie Kirk think that he is. He is a liability for the Republican Party. Everybody that knows anything has been saying that for 7 years now, but they still can't grapple with that reality because their careers are tied to Trump, right? Yeah. And that's part of the problem too. When you hitch yourself to that wagon, you're stuck with it. Otherwise, you're gonna get left behind because you have put all of your stock into this guy. So Kirk has to do this. And again, whether or not he's setting Trump up for massive failure, which would be hilarious, who knows? But he's going to have to continue to defend Trump because that's what he has become now. This is his whole identity.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.